El universo de El Señor de los Anillos, creado por John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, es uno de los más amados en la cultura popular, y Amazon Prime Video está buscando expandirlo un poco más a través de los Anillos del Poder. Ambientada miles de años antes de los acontecimientos de las novelas El Hobbit y El Señor de los Anillos, la serie abarca los principales acontecimientos de la Segunda Edad de la Tierra Media, específicamente la forja de los Anillos de Poder y el ascenso de Sauron como el Señor Oscuro. El universo de Tolkien cuenta con muchos personajes que no fueron muy desarrollados en sus obras originales, a pesar de jugar un papel importante en los principales acontecimientos que llevaron a Sauron al poder. Sin embargo, Los Anillos del Poder busca remediar eso, ofreciendo a los espectadores una mayor perspectiva de la historia al darle a personajes icónicos como Celebrimbor, Isildur, Galadriel y al mismo Sauron mayor profundidad. Fast Company México entrevistó al elenco de Los Anillos del Poder poco antes del estreno de su segunda temporada para saber cómo ha sido expandir el mundo del Señor de los Anillos a través de sus personajes.
You both play characters that are quite important to the bigger lore of the Lord of the Rings, but that weren't quite fleshed out like in the original books. But how does it feel to have the opportunity to portray these characters and shine a new light on them and expand their stories?
My character wasn't really that explored in the books. I mean, you know, sort of actions that he's done, signposts, but you don't quite know how he's got there. So I think we're able to start from the ground up, give the characters and the fans a deeper understanding of who they are, what drives them, how they connect with the world, and that's been a deep privilege for me as a fan as well of Tolkien.
My character similarly is mentioned, obviously, and did big things, but Tolkien never really coloured him in. And Tolkien, you know, he contradicts himself sometimes about this. I'm talking about my character. You know, he changes his mind about him. So when you see that in something that in the sort of source material, you go, okay, so there's room here to create a character alongside what he wrote. You know, it was a question of building a character whilst of course honouring what was written about him. So that's been really rewarding.
I think we both have a lot of ownership over these characters, and there's a nice opportunity there where you're given sort of the framework of a character, so you sort of know where they're ultimately going to end up, but then between yourself, your fellow actors, the showrunners, you can all kind of, you know, build something that's new and feels right for this particular story that we're telling. And I love that media, for me personally, has given me a beautiful opportunity to have this safe space to put a lot of my personal thoughts and feelings about these times that we're living in. And she's a very conflicted character in a conflicted time, and that speaks to me personally about the world we're living in now. So I think I just jumped at the chance. It felt like it was meant to be, that I was meant to play this character at this time in my life.
Yeah, for me, I definitely have this sense of excitement, privilege, and responsibility for playing Elendil, because this is this hero archetype, and particularly from a fan perspective, people have a very emotional connection to Elendil without really knowing who he is. And indeed, Tolkien writes very little about him. But because of this final sort of self-sacrificial act with Sauron, and then with Isildur not throwing the ring into Mount Doom, I think the great excitement is, how do I shape this character to make him a fully dimensional, rounded human being? Morally compromised, I hope, at times, perhaps making the wrong decision. And so those choices between the writers, JD and Patrick, me and my performance, working out the script, questions, which we all do, we all talk deeply about each scene that we're about to work on, and rehearse it and try and understand. So to shape this fallible human being is a great privilege, because, you know, it's the leadership. For him, it's the hero's journey. And all heroes turn around and go, who, me? You don't mean the guy behind me? You know, so it's that sense of humility and vulnerability in him to shape and ultimately shape him into this great leader that is a very exciting prospect.